The Niners are 3-4. What is the goal for this season? Are they thinking about running the table, getting the number one seed? What is the objective
Number one
here?
seed's out of here. Number one seed's out of here. You blew that when you lost against the Rams and Arizona. You blew that right out of the water. They've got to go.
They are in last place in the NFC West for people who are just tuning in. Niners in last place, fourth place.
But here's the thing, like, okay, because I'm the fan, right?
Were they a game out of first place, though?
I'm going to say they're going to be in first place because Seattle's going to lose to the Bills, and I think the Cardinals will lose to the Dolphins because they have Tua back. So the 49ers could be in first place 4-4 with their bye and feeling really good about themselves, right? So in my mind, they have to get the third seed, no lower than the third seed. And here's why. Because I feel like they have an advantage in that because I feel like the NFC North teams are basically on paper and when we play them are better than the Niners, right? We'll see how they are because it'll be interesting how the Bears defense goes up against Kyle, right? And that offense. Also, they have a hard time with scrambling QBs, with the exception of Goff. They all can scramble. So in my mind, if they're the third seed, it'll protect them from playing those NFC North teams because they should cannibalize each other, play against each other, right? If they're the fourth seed, they're either going to play the Lions or Minnesota first game because the 4 or 5 play together. That's not going to really work out.
No,
that's not going to work out.
And if they lose first round of the playoffs at home,
it's not going to work. So listen, in your mind, couldn't they say, hey, listen, look at how many injuries we had. We lost, we didn't have McCaffrey. We went to the divisional round. We had to play Minnesota at home. It was a close game. We lost. Moody missed an extra point. You could see that.
Maybe.
Right?
But it's like, from the other perspective, it's like, yeah, but you had your quarterback. You had Brock. You had Debo. You had Kittle. You had Bosa. You had Warner. I mean, you were favored to win every week this year, and yet 9-8, first round exit. It just seems like you underperformed.
If it's a first round exit, yes, but I'm talking about if they win their first round,
then
go to the divisional round, and I think everyone's okay.
Yep. I do think it's funny though. Like I think again, the Yorks are not the DeBartolos. Well, kind of, but Jed is not freaking Eddie, and in 1996, year 8 for George Seifert, 12-4. I believe they win their first playoff game and then lose to the Packers in the divisional round. Maybe they didn't even play the wild card round.
It was, no, they did. They were the first seed.
1996 49ers
Weren't
stats.
They the number one seed?
Let me check real quick. So this is Seifert's last year, year 8. No. They go 12-4. They play the Eagles in the first round. They beat them 14-0. Then they go to Green Bay, who I think they were the number one seed. Get the doors broken up. 35-14.
Yeah, I remember that.
Green Bay goes on to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Eddie doesn't give a damn. He fires Seifert right on the spot. You're right.
Looking back, was Seifert a better coach than Mariucci?
Seifert was out of the league 3 years later. He was older at that point. So it's not like a definite one-to-one comparison to Kyle Shanahan, who's 45.
Right? He went to Carolina.
He went to Carolina, had one good year, had one awful year, got fired, and never coached again in the league.
Got it.
He went 1-15.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting. Did you hear Steve Young on the radio this week? He was like, "What? The goal is not to win the division. The goal is to win the Super Bowl." I don't want to hear anyone of the Niners talking about winning the NFC West. Like that is not.
So I think that's
lowered expectation.
I think we heard it from Jed last year. There's a difference now. It is not. We are removed from the banners of winning is everything. We are in a state of 49ers where winning the division and making the dance, as they like to call it, is the goal. Because anything can happen. It's just luck, right? It's just luck.
Sounds like the Cowboys to me. Sounds like the Niners looked down their noses at Dallas. I wonder if Niner fans even know that Dallas has had 3 consecutive 12-win seasons, 3 in a row. You know why? Who cares? Does it matter? No. Are they a joke? Absolutely. And I think that's what the Niners are flirting with.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, there's not a coincidence they've paid Dak, and they're the worst they've ever been now.
Huh?
They're the worst they've ever been.
Yeah. So if you want to peek into the future of what the Niners could look like, it's Brock Purdy making a hell of a lot of money, a lot of these old guys getting released, and a rebuild while the quarterback's one of the highest paid players in the league. That's scary.
I also am looking at the landscape of the league, and this is where I think the GM thing comes in. Is Grant like, everyone thinks Kyle in the mainstream media like isn't the GM, but we kind of know that he's kind of pulling the strings. Those other teams in the NFC have been doing a great job with their GMs. For example, the team you think Washington's going away anytime soon this year?
Nope.
Or anytime soon?
They have a strong general manager.
Philadelphia, you think they're going to go anyway anytime soon?
Strong general manager.
Strong general manager. And again, look within the division. You think Seattle's going to go anywhere? No, they have strong general manager.
Strong general manager.
They're surrounded.
Rams, strong general manager.
Packers, strong general manager.
Strong general manager.
Do we not see it? Do we not see the? I think people lose track.
You know who Chiefs, strong general manager, Brett Veach.
Ravens. There's not a coincidence here. And here's
strong
the
general
other thing.
manager. Yep.
I think everyone's missing the point. I think Kyle needs to let go of that and hire someone, or tell John it's your baby, because I feel like John does hit because John knows what to find. I think where he
trusts his scouting department. The scouting department's good.
He does.
He does, and the scouting department precedes him. It's like a lot of guys that Balky and Harbaugh brought in. Tariq Ahmad, he's been here since 2014.
They're good.
They're good.
They're good. Name me another team where the backup comes in and you're like, oh, he was better. And you're like...
Consistently. Every time.
And it's not just like one position. It could be any position. And you're like, why didn't they start this guy? Our safety? Why were they even starting Hufanga when this guy's like a missile launcher?
Or George Odom actually was on the field for multiple weeks, giving up touchdowns. So it's like, what about Malik? What? You didn't see that?
He's just, and that's just one example. Yeah. Right? Running back. Why wasn't Mason playing last year? Why?
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell had carries in the Super Bowl. What? Why? I mean, Mason's demonstrably better. Say whatever you want about Elijah Mitchell or Mason's limitations. He's demonstrably better than Mitchell.
You don't think Mason could have broken a few tackles and it could have been 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 12 like it was during the Super Bowl?
You know who broke no tackles in the Super Bowl? McCaffrey.
It's true.
You know why? Because he fumbled. And then he went into self-preservation mode. It's truth. Watch the film.
He's a human.
He is. Shady Zay says, never heard of Ricky until draft. Cowing 7th all-time total yards in college football ever. What did Ricky do? Stop sleeping on Cowing. Is that true?
Yeah, I did look at that. That actually, because I was like, who is this? Who's this Ricky guy? Cowing has some pretty good stats.
He's a good player. That stutter move, he did it in preseason as well.